Welcome. Thank you very much. I know I'm coming before your tea break. We are a little late. I'll try to get things moving fast. I hope my presentation will be on. In 2016, when I was at Principal Advisor to Piyush Goyal at Electric Vehicle, I started driving it. At that time, we faced immense amount of opposition. I remember that it was mentioned that finally we have agreed to CCS2. CCS2 was actually proposed in January of 2017 as a consensus, but many people didn't agree. Anyway, I think that's a history. Today, we are moving towards EV. EV is happening. It's a matter of few years. Let me, however, point out a few important things that is often not talked about. Is this working? Yep. So I'll start with those who still oppose naysayers. And the person who I consider EV basher in chief, he may become the next president of United States, but he actually uses the statement, cost too much, doesn't go far. We'll deal with each of these. The next, grid is anyway dirty, mostly using coal. EVs is therefore consuming coal-based electricity. So what are we doing? The next problem, there is a charging infrastructure do not exist. I think Harish was talking about it. Well, and finally, the claim that is made, battery and solar creates too much of waste at the end of life. So what are we doing? Let me deal with each of these things in a somewhat cost too much, doesn't go far. Actually, it's a true statement. True, but. I'll come to the but let me tell you why it is happening. You look at this diagram. This diagram is a very revealing diagram. If you look at it, this is energy density. Diesel and petrol are right up there in that corner. Whereas all lithium-ion batteries, etc., are here. Basically, battery energy density is very it's high. Very low. It's much heavier. And we are coming with new batteries all the time, but the gap is very large. It is not going to be overcome. Let's be very clear. It is not going to be enough. One can talk about you can use smaller batteries and swap. Yes, it is being done. There are still many people who believe that can be a good solution, and I believe it will be a good solution, but in some space. One then talks about maybe hydrogen fuel. We use liquefied. It's too much in future. I will therefore not talk about it more. The point that I'm making, the statement that Trump is making, cost too much, doesn't go far, is not true anymore. Let's look at this diagram. And this is a very revealing diagram. The Trump statement is based on US numbers. Yes, US number is very high. In US, the electric vehicles are very expensive. Britain is somewhere moderate. In China, it has gone below the cost of, can you not hear me? Sorry. Yeah, in China, it has gone below the cost of petrol vehicles. And I think we don't have to follow what US is doing. We have to actually beat China. And of course, fuel cost is about 1/10, plus maintenance cost is also very low. So as far as cost too much, India is already showing. Today the vehicles are costing less and less. We'll talk a little more about it. Don't go far. Now that is an important issue. You have a size of a battery, it doesn't go far. 95% of the days we travel below 100 kilometers. In fact, two-wheelers we travel not more than 50 kilometers. Now, easily the batteries are available far beyond 100 kilometers, and we can then charge it overnight and there is no problem. How many times we drive to Bangalore or to any other place, to more than 250, 300 kilometers? probably 2 to 3% of days. Not more than 10 days. On those days, fast charge can be carried out. Now fast charge is available. Harish was talking about it. Are available. In 15 to 20 minutes on the way to Bangalore, on the way to pretty much any cities, you can charge. Fast charge. And battery life is impacted. It is not true that battery life is not impacted. I think every battery life is impacted when you do fast charge. The 2 to 3% if you charge, it won't be impacted much. For fleet battery, we can use larger batteries and we can take batteries which can take fast charge. It will be a little more expensive, but I think since you are going to drive so much, it will be more than compensated. So the costs are recoverable. So the argument that Trump is making is true but not true. Let's look at the second thing. Battery swapping is another option. I talked about it. EV without battery costs less than ICE vehicle. But whereas ICE requires a low-cost petrol tank, EV requires a large battery, which is initially expensive. If one purchases smaller battery, if you purchase vehicle without battery and swap smaller battery, actual cost will be very, very low. And there are, particularly for fleets, many people are doing that. I will not talk more about it. Grid is dirty. Again, a true statement. It mostly uses coal, gas or oil. But let's look at it. What is the cost of solar power today? What is the cost of wind power? Cost of solar power is 2 rupees per kilowatt hour. So that of wind is 2 rupees 75 paise. A new coal plant where you put pollution removal equipment, the cost of electricity will be 4 rupees 50 paise. And the prices of solar and wind is falling further. So the cost is low. It's a matter of time before we race to the larger number. Move to electricity. I will say let's move to the electricity. But don't stop using. Start using electric vehicle that will raise more demand and move to electricity using renewable. If you use electricity using solar and wind, since they are not 24/7, they will require additional storage to balance supply and demand. That issue will be there. But the point is, we are making batteries. We are even, in fact, EV can also act as a storage. So it will only help us to move to fully renewables. So we should quickly move to renewable. Last question, charging infrastructure is not ready. Home charging, 3 kilowatt, 7 kilowatt, 11 kilowatt, 22 kilowatt. There are plenty out here. I'll show you. We ourselves have incubated couple of companies at IIT Madras, which is actually making them. Costs are low. This can be easily put. Chargers being deployed in public places, office, parking, malls, highways, cinema halls, 30 kilowatt, 60 kilowatt, 120 kilowatt, which can charge today at 120 in about 15 to 20 minutes. I think these are no longer expensive. And if they are expensive because they are just imported, you come to us at Research Park, we'll show you rather inexpensive charges. And one can quickly deploy that and that can happen. Now, fast and slow charging, of course, depends on the battery size. For example, if you have 3 to 4 hours is slow charging, anything less than 1 hour is fast charging. Now, if you have a large battery, of course, you'll require a larger power. If you have a smaller battery, you can, even the 3 kilowatt charger will be fast charger. For a two-wheeler with 1 kilowatt battery, 3 kilowatt is a damn fast charger. So I think people have not understood this. And I hope the forum here does more to get people to understand it. Battery and solar PV will create huge waste. Again, true, if you do nothing about it. But today, technologies are available. Again, come to Research Park. We'll show you we are recycling batteries. We are recovering 93% of the materials and reusing it. We are recycling solar panel. And we can, in fact, do this. It can be an opportunity. In fact, let even the waste batteries and solar panels come here. We will recycle it and recover material and make the new ones. We will make it extremely cost effective. So why is there so much interest in EV today? Let me just give you a small quick stuff. First of all, electric vehicle is 4 times more energy efficient as opposed to ICE vehicle. You are talking about 22 to 25% in ICE vehicle energy efficiency, whereas in electric vehicle is 90 to 95%. That's a basic truth. Now you can of course recover part of the energy, put it into a small battery in form of hybrids. We'll talk about it later and say efficiency of petrol vehicle can be 30%, 35% possible, but basically electric vehicle energy efficiency is 95%. Has 50 times less moving parts. So therefore it's very reliable. And we have huge import bill. And it creates large pollution. India is amongst the largest polluters. 46 out of the top 100 cities in the world, polluted cities are in India. What are the components that are required? We need to make every component. We can't import it. I'm very happy that in your talk you had mentioned that we are trying to localize. We are developing motors and controllers. For example, these motors and controllers, we have moved from induction motor to PMSM motor. Tomorrow we will go to rare earth free motors. All these motors are getting designed at IIT-M Research Park. Visit us, you will show you, and every piece can be developed, as you was pointing out, and manufactured within 50-kilometer radius of Chennai. The second important thing is battery pack. Again, have thousands of parts. And if you really make it, you are going to create a huge number of ancillary industry and large number of jobs. Need to be designed for India's environment condition. I would love to understand what Citron is doing, because it has to work at 45 degrees, at 49 degrees centigrade, and now even 52 degrees centigrade. So it involves quality thermal design, careful mechanical design, but we can do. Chargers and controllers, there are enough out here. I told you we ourselves have a company called Floatric and another company which is here, which is making these chargers, and they are increasingly low cost. 3 kilowatt, 7 kilowatt, 11 kilowatt AC chargers. 22 kilowatt will be fast charger for pretty much any vehicle. I have a Tata vehicle, not yours, 30 kilowatt battery, 22 kilowatt charger. I can use it in 50 minutes, 55 minutes. I can charge the whole thing. And there are of course fast chargers available. DC-DC converters is another thing that we really need to do. Today mostly imported from China. I know there are exceptions, but all can be made, designed and made here, can create huge jobs. I want to point out this slide deliberately. There is a last gasp from those who are promoting IC engine vehicle. So they keep on trying to promote, no, keep petrol vehicle alive for one reason or another. That's what the Trump statement was, doesn't go far. So I'll keep on using ICE vehicle. And now they're saying, let's push hybrids. Now in hybrids, what is this? Basically, hybrid is what? It has IC engine, it has a electric engine, motors and controllers. Why two? What is the advantage? Well, then there are all kinds of. There is what's called mild hybrid, which essentially it is a IC engine vehicle. It recovers part of the energy during downhill, during deceleration, and during braking, and put it into a battery and use that energy somewhat and call it a mild hybrid. They do therefore increase the efficiency from around 25% to around 30-35%. But frankly speaking, why continue to use those petrol? Same thing is with strong hybrid. Strong hybrid has a little larger, mid-size battery. And what they do is they take petrol and they have an electric generator which then charges the battery and then you use it. Essentially, you are using petrol. Yes, a little more efficient because motors and controllers are more efficient. But I see no reason there to promote that. There is a plug-in hybrid. Now, what does plug-in hybrid do? Plug-in hybrid sort of say, I have an electric vehicle and you can plug in and charge. Except battery is not that big. So maybe it will give you 100 kilometer range. Most of the day you use 100 kilometer. And if you go beyond 100 kilometer, use petrol. And I'll put for a IC engine. Well, I have no particular complaint against this because except if it is used for fleet vehicles. Fleet vehicles will every day go more than 100 kilometers. I have no particular complaint. But frankly speaking, as I pointed out, is the last gap. Another 3-4 years, they will even stop talking. Current status in India, EV will dominate market when vehicle plus fuel for 1 year, is more expensive for petrol as compared to the electric vehicle. And what is the status? Electric two-wheeler and three-wheeler are very close. Two-wheeler, three-wheeler, today, the way it is, for delivery vehicle with longer drive in a day, viable totally today. Today, in fact, it costs less if you take a two-wheeler or three-wheeler which is electric rather than petrol. For four-wheeler, it's getting established fast. And with will be dominant in the next 4 years. For taxis and fleet service, again, straight away today. Otherwise, maybe 1 year it is not there. Today is 2 to 3 years, but the costs are falling down rapidly, and we will get that. Large commercial vehicle, 300 to 500 kilometer range, which means not very long. It's again becoming viable. In next 3 to 4 years, we will actually beat the fact that in 1 year, the initial cost will be recovered. In 3 to 4 years, you will get a huge difference. Where is the problem? The problem will be long-haul trucks. Long-haul trucks, whether you should use batteries or hydrogen, it's an open question. One can get into it. I have detailed presentation. What is the cost of hydrogen? What is likely to? But I am not going to do today. However, I am going to move to something else. See, one of the big problems in cities like Chennai, is not question of just petrol vehicle versus electric vehicle. How long does it take to come from home to office and office to home? And not just Chennai. You go to Bangalore, it's worse. Bombay, worse. Delhi, probably similar. Hyderabad, getting worse. So, you are today taking an hour plus to go from home to office. 2 hours. Is that the future of the country? So, you need totally alternate system. And they of course have to be electric. They have to be highly energy efficient. They have to be comfortable, using only green electricity. And it must be built on existing city infrastructure and affordable. And we are working on a system like this, hashtag pods, which can take you within 20 minutes, guaranteed 15-kilometer ride. We are building, these are the future. And we need to start working on these technologies today so that we can win tomorrow. Similarly, hashtag goods. Today, if I want to take away goods from Chennai port to, let's say, Chandigarh, it takes 4-5 days. How much petrol, diesel it burns, pollution it causes? We need alternate solution. Autonomous carriages like the pods, carrying a truck load of goods, moving unidirectional at 150 to 200 kilometers on rails. Set up on rails. East-west on one side, north-south on another side at 2 different heights, and no crossing, no congestion. So therefore, average speed is 175 kilometers. Within 24 hours, you can go from any place in the country to any place in the country. And 100 kilometer by 100 kilometer grid, which it can take you there. In the last 100, once you get to 100 kilometer, use the trucks. That is viable. These kind of solutions are required, and we will build solutions like this and make this available, end-to-end goods delivery in 24 hours. Mixture of electric trucks, but not long-haul electric trucks. I'm actually opposing long-haul electric trucks. Because long-haul electric trucks, whether you do hydrogen or battery, will always be. But 100, 200, 300 kilometers, 400 kilometers, I think that's where our electric vehicles will always be a winner. Finally, to sum up, India needs to move to EV rapidly to free its economy from impact of oil imports, to free its country from large pollution. Technology is ready, need aggressive local industry, need right policy, and conferences like this, which can keep on promoting like this. India's electricity generation, on the other hand, should be fully renewable. And this we are committed to, and we'll get there. And to match supply and demand, we will have storage. Thank you very much.